Good evening, I'm Sahna Diata and we're at the Manager Show. So this week we are receiving the team of Air Liquide with Miss Marie Blondet, Mrs. Reo, Mrs. Tonnet and Mrs. Coulins. So they're here to talk about how Air Liquide manages their teams and handle conflicts. So let's first learn a little more about Air Liquide. Before we get started, here's a quick presentation of Air Liquide. Air Liquide is a French multinational present in 80 countries with more than 50,000 collaborators around the world. So Air Liquide innovates in the service of the progress while attempting to ally dynamic growth, regularity of its performance and responsibility on the long term. Their turnover in the year 2013 amounts to 15.2 billion euros. So, as you know, if you watch this show every week, management is really different depending on the country. How someone manages his team in South America is not the same as how someone manages his team in Africa, for example. So, I'm here with Mrs. Tonnet, employee at Air Liquide. Hi, Mrs. Tonnet.
Hi.
Welcome on the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I wanted to ask you, Ms. Tonnet, how does the manager in Gabon, how does he try to, make everyone mingle, have to know each other better? Because I believe like you don't all come from the same place and you don't all have the same cultures.
Yes, we don't have the same culture. So 2 months ago was organized a kind of forum where all the employees, especially executive secretaries, took part. Took we took part because the managers want their employees to know each other a bit more. So during the forum, there was all there were all the employees of Gabon, Cameroon, and Chad, and we shared all our experiences based on our cultures, where we were previously, and it was a kind of exchange, an important exchange for people to know about their colleagues and their cultures, their backgrounds. It was very interesting.
Oh, that must have been nice.
Yes, it was.
So that was a pretty successful experience, but I guess it's not that easy to bring like all the cultures to mix together and have a nice time like they did in Gabon. So please, Mrs. Collins, could you talk to us about the different difficulties you could you could face to when you bring different cultures, people from different horizons together?
Well, first of all, we have cultural differences. In fact, many employees are not prepared with information about the varying perspective that different countries have on fundamental issues like effective communication, tolerance, religion, hierarchy, decision making, timetable, different things as this. But other things which are, I think, important is virtual communication and meeting. If we could be something as a fly on the wall and see all the participants of a virtual meeting, many will be multitasking or rolling their eyes.
So let's now focus on another part of the world, more precisely Western Europe, with Mrs. Reo. Hi, Mrs. Reo.
Good morning.
So, Mrs. Reo, we have noticed in this show that even if a team is made of, like, let's say, French people and German people, even if these countries seem quite similar, we can sometimes face some conflicts. So, how do you explain that?
Yes, in fact, we have some kind of management conflicts, for example, between French and German. If you are an executive in Germany, you can, for example, mistake on how your French coaching style is perceived. You can unintentionally cause a latent conflict, the strength of your team, and generate less performance. Germans have difficulties understanding how French people speak equivocally. We often speak ambiguously and give the impression to never reveal everything. The French are accustomed to having their interlocutors take for themselves the right conclusions and interpret things correctly. The German direct way of speaking is often badly perceived and misinterpreted by the French side. Our neighbors are trying indeed be clear to their colleagues so that they understand the information given. In contrast, the German communication still appears negative in the eyes of the French because they are not used to being there serve all the information on a plate. This tends to annoy the French. This difference in expression led to many misunderstandings and misinterpretations because it is difficult in this context to create a relationship of trust. For example, the German let their interlocutors speak and expect they have completed to respond. This shows the respect they have for each other and the importance of having all the information to understand the situation or problem. The French, meanwhile, often interrupt their interlocutors. It is cultural. The Germans don't appreciate this kind of behavior that they interpret as a lack of respect.
Now that we know that there are some tangible issues in the company, would you please tell us, Marie, headquarter of Air Liquide, do you have some concrete solutions to bring on the table? Like, how do you do to manage all those conflicts?
Our headquarters is located in France, the same for our principal research laboratory. Nowadays, we have to manage with increasing demand and the increasing size of our company. The globalization of the labor market is a new challenge that Air Liquide has to face. More countries and cultures have to integrate the company, we have to coordinate working teams between each other. To respond to the problem faced between France and Germany, we try to implement more uses of new technology. For example, web portals provide users with a single security-rich, personalized interface that combines numerous sources of information. Portals are often combined with mashups that are platforms that support development of quick applications that can be rapidly assembled and shared by individuals and teams. We built a platform with a virtual manager that gives guidelines to employees. It's a new way to gather employees from different cultures. This virtual manager gives instructions to employees before a meeting in order to they respect each other. That's it.
Oh, so that was really interesting. Thank you, Marie. So now, Grace, do you have other examples for like the Boston or United States?
Yes, of course I have. Yes, in fact, we apply this in Boston. For example, we offered seminar and backpack courses surrounding such project course with university, which can implement course on work on global work team. For example, MIT University offer a background course concurrent with a design course featuring global work team skills. So it's really great and important. But also we can just find some continuing employees education program in global team content, and which enable employees to get more skill to deal with global team and to deal with a global world. So in fact, employees are not, I think the first problem we have to deal is that employees are not well prepared to deal with a global work.
So I'm going now to thank our guests for being with us. So see you next week, same day, same hour with this time McDonald's. Thank you. Bye. Clap for yourself.